Hello, everybody. How are we doing tonight? So, we are continuing Fate Stay Night tonight. Let me see. So, last time I had to end it, like, kind of in the middle of day 5. Well, not really the middle, it was towards the end. But, we did not finish day 5 of Unlimited Blade Works before we ended off last week. So we're going to be finishing up day 5 and then getting through day 6. Day 6... I mean, there's some interesting exciting stuff, rather. It's all interesting, but some exciting stuff happens, but it's not like the busiest day. Also, no bad ends this week, unfortunately. Anyways, let's get into it. I walk through the night town. It's still 7 o'clock, so I still see people around. I don't think any guard is necessary, but I can't turn down her goodwill. But maybe I should have refused. My nerves are getting strained. There are goosebumps on my skin, and I might throw up if I let my guard down. I feel hostility from behind me. The invisible guard is watching out for the one he has to protect. Oh yeah. Rin made Archer walk Shiro home. Man, how is he a guard? The hostility I feel is definitely coming from the man behind me.
この辺りでいい。あんまり近づくと前みたいなことになりかねない。
I tell the presence behind me. Archer doesn't answer. He just accepts my words and tries to leave.
待てよ。なんか言いたいことがあるんじゃないのか、お前。
I glare at the invisible guy. The leaving presence stops. He appears, with hostility still present.
見直したよ。殺気を感じ取れる程度には心得があるらしい。いや、てっきり虫も殺さない平和主義者だと思っていたが。
バカにすんな。これでも魔術師だぞ、俺は。相手がやる気だって言うんならいくらでも相手になる。
I confront the knight in red. He smiles as if to make fun of me and shrugs his shoulders.
たわけたこと。血の匂いがしない魔術師など半人前だ。死にそう教わらなかったのか、エミヤシロ。
My spirits weaken. Kiritsugu certainly said so. Magi are tinted with blood. It doesn't matter if you hurt or don't hurt anyone. This path is a path wet with blood. That's why Kiritsugu told me not to be a magus.
俺からは血の匂いがしないっていうのか。
無論だ。その点においてもエミヤシロはマスターには向いていない。リンとは大違いだな。
なんだそれ。遠坂は血の匂いがするっていうのか。
するとも。あれはいささか甘すぎる嫌いはあるが、それでも手を下すときは容赦すまい。そうでなくては連日マスターを探して街を巡回などしないさ。
She's looking for other masters every day? That means she's fighting other masters. It's not like it's over once she finds a master. Then...
じゃあ、遠坂は今日みたいなことを毎日してるのか。
The event at school. The same thing that happened in the woods today.
まさか今日のような手たらくは今回限りにしてほしいものだ。あれだけの意志と能力を持った魔術師がお前を相手にするとどうも年相応に戻ってしまう。だいたい彼女の能力ならエミやシロと協力する必要などないのだ。にもかかわらず余分なことをしている。私としては協力など反対なのだが、まあ 仕方があるまい。サーバントはマスターに従うものだ。そうだろ、エミヤシロ。たとえマスターが役に立たない未熟者でも、サーバントは従わなければならないということだ。
Is he talking about me and Saber?
そうかよ。父さんも気の毒だな。お前みたいなひねくれ者と組まされてな。
まったく呆れる。まだそんなことを口にするのか。忠告するが、サーバントの性格など考慮するな。我らはただ戦うために呼び出された者。所詮サーバントは霊樹で繋がれた道具に過ぎない。
I can't tell him that that's not the case. What Archer, the one bound by the command spell, said is definitely true. I can't think of Saber as a tool, but it's true that Saber is bound by the command spell.
で、呼び止めた要件は何だ？まさか親睦を深めようなどとふざけた理由ではあるまい。
Ugh. I don't have a reason. I just didn't like him, so I wanted to complain to him.
そうだ、アーチャー。お前も聖杯が欲しいのか？
I ask an obvious question in desperation. Then,
聖杯？はあ、人間の望みを叶えるという悪質な宝箱か。興味はないな。私の望みはそんなものでは叶えられまい。
I feel like the game may be a bit loud in comparison to me, so adjusted that a little. The knight in red declares contemptuously,
なんだって。
"That's contradictory. Servants desire the Holy Grail. Isn't that why they answer the call of the Magus and become servants?"
待て、おかしいぞお前。なら、なんでサーバントになんてなってんだよ。
成り行き上仕方なくだ。私に自由意志などない。お前はサーバントが自らの意志で呼び出しに応じているとでも思っているのだろうがな。
Don't have free will? Does that mean he was called against his will even though he doesn't want the Holy Grail?
幸せな男だ。本当に考えたことはなかったのか？いいか。サーバントとは呼び出されるものだ。いいな。英霊とは全て自らの意志ではなく、他者の意志によって呼び出される。過去の功績によって英霊となり、以後は人々の間で語り継がれ、その支えになるもの。だが、その当の英霊自身が心の底から人間の助けになりたいなどと思っていると。
いや、
I don't know. If they're called heroic spirits, they should be pure. That's why I imagine them protecting people, but that's not the case for a lot of the servants I've encountered.
そうだ。もともと英霊というものに意志などない。英霊となったものは以後ただ人間を守る力として置かれるだけだ。何かこちらで不都合があった場合のみ呼び出され、その後始末をして消えるだけの存在。あるがないもの。人の世の危機を救おうが誰にも認識されないもの。それが英霊。守護者と呼ばれる都合のいい存在だ。なってしまったが最後、意志を剥奪され、永遠に人間のために働き続ける掃除屋に過ぎん。
One that is summoned only to disappear. Heroic spirits are tools without a will?
そんなはずはない。セイバーもお前もちゃんと意志があるじゃないか。そりゃ自分の意志とは無関係に呼び出されたかもしれないけど、それでもこっちに出てきてからの選択肢はあるんじゃないのか。セイバーだって やりたくないことはやらないって突っぱねるし。
当然だろう。我々はサーバントだ。誰が作ったシステムだか知らんが、この戦いはよくできている。本来本体からの触覚でしかない英霊に形を与え、本体そのものとして刺激するのだからな。サーバントという殻を与えられた英霊はその時点で元の人間性を取り戻せる。故にサーバントは聖杯を求めるのだろうよ。聖杯を得れば叶わなかった無念を晴らせるだろうし、短い時間であれ人間としてこの世界にとどまれるのだから。
人間としてとどまれる。
That must mean they can be set free as an individual and not a servant. And to add, the Holy Grail has powers to grant wishes. If it allows them to grant the wishes they had before they died, it's natural for servants to cooperate with their masters. So the Holy Grail must be a miracle for the servants as well.
なんでそこまでのものを。なんでお前はいらないって言うんだ。叶えられなかった願いを叶えられるし、サーバントでなくなることだってできるっていうのに。
単純な話だ。私には叶えられない願いなどなかった。他の連中とは違う。私は望みを叶えて死に英霊となった。故に叶えたい望みなどないし、人としてここに留まることにも興味はない。それはお前のサーバントも同じだろうさ。
バカ言うな。セイバーは聖杯が必要だって言ったんだ。お前みたいに目的がなくてサーバントをやってるわけじゃない。
私の
Archer murmurs. Why is it? It's just a normal murmur, but a chill runs through me.
目的があろうとなかろうと同じだ。気になるのならば問いただしてみるがいい。セイバーの目的は聖杯でありながら、決して聖杯を自分のためには使わない。そういった意味であれは典型的な守護者。文字通り奴隷なのだ。そのことを彼女のマスターであるのなら決して忘れないことだ。
His presence disappears. The knight in red talks cynically until the very end and leaves.
Tadaima.
Even though I don't feel like it, I follow my habit as I go into my house. I feel liveliness from the living room. I bet Fujine's watching TV and Sakura's preparing dinner. Saber, is she in the living room? I recall Archer's words and shake my head. I don't know what he wanted to say, nor do I want to know, but it's stuck in my head and it won't go away. A familiar called a servant. His honest opinion, scorning heroic spirits as mere cleaners. Hello, Wind! Welcome, welcome! We are, wrapping up day 5 here, and then we'll get into day 6. We're expecting to encounter Caster and Assassin later. Even though she's in the middle of cooking, she comes out to greet me.
ただいま。遅くなってすまない。晩飯どのくらい進んでる？
はい、まだ始めたばかりです。でも、先輩のお手を借りることはないと思いますよ。今晩のメニュー、藤村先生のリクエストでシチューなんです。
そうか。そりゃ確かに手伝えないかな。
Looking, I see that everything's been cut up already. Knowing how good Sakura is, I bet all she has left to do is cook it.
セイバーは今にはいないようだけど。
セイバーさんでしたら和室の方で眠っています。先輩が帰ってきたら起こしてほしいと言っていましたけど。
セイバー、もしかして怒ってたか？
はなかったと思いますよ。セイバーさんいつもキッとしてますから。
If Sakura's hesitating to say it, it must mean Saber's really mad. It's only natural though, since I broke our promise of me coming home before dark.
や、おかえりしろ。セイバーちゃん怒ってたよ。帰ってきたら道場で話があるって。
Fujine says something really scary while she munches on a mandarin.
藤ね、なんかセイバーに変なこと吹き込んだりしてないだろうな。その約束を破ったやつは道場でしないうちの刑だとかなんとか。
したよ。うちは体育会系だから容赦なくやっちゃっていいって。
Get him! I see. So my enemies aren't just other masters. There's another one hiding here as well.
つかぬことを聞くけどな。藤ね、セイバーを道場に連れて行ったのか。稽古するなら竹刀を使えって。
うん。さっき軽く手合わせしたんだけど、あの子とんでもないわよ。剣道を知らないくせに私以上に剣道家っぽいんだもん。あの子向こうでフェンシングでもやってたの？
いや、フェンシングはやってないと思う。どっちかっていうと藤ねとキャラが被る。
Like how she swings around a big sword unmatched to her size, and how she attacks enemies like a wild animal.
いや、自業自得として観念しよう。それより藤ね、三綴りのことだ。あいつ家に帰ってるのか？
え？なんでシロが知ってるのよ。三綴さんのことは知らされていないはずよ。
ああ、生徒会室で盗み聞きしたんだ。それでどうなんだよ。三綴見つかったのか？
I stare at Fujine. Fujine's a teacher, even if she may not seem like one. She keeps quiet about things she shouldn't talk about, and I'm sure she'd tell a lie to comfort a student. So I have to stare at her to notice any changes while I ask about Mitsuzuri.
どうなんだ藤ね。やっぱり一向に変化なしなのか？
仕方ないなあ。黙ってたら今すぐ飛び出しそうだし、絶対秘密って話でもないし。けどシロ、今回は特別だからね。シロが三綴さんの友人だから教えてあげるのよ。
Oh, I just noticed chat isn't working. No!
分かってる。オンに切るから早く。
じゃあ結論から。三綴さん、さっき保護されたわよ。今頃は検査も終わって家に帰ってるんじゃないかしら。ちょっと意識が混濁してるらしいけど、外傷もないし命に別状もないって。それ以上の話はダメ。シロも友達なら三綴さん本人から聞きなさい。
そうか。とにかく大事はなかったんだな、あいつ。
Thank God. I don't know what Mitsuzuri got into, but I know it has something to do with the strange incidents happening around town. It's likely that the source of it is this master at my school. I don't know what I would have done if something happened to Mitsuzuri.
そうだ。さくら、ちょっといいか？
はい、何ですか先輩。
いや、大したことじゃない。ただ、シンジがどうしているか知らないかなって。
すみません先輩。昨日はこちらに泊めてもらって学校に行ったでしょ。だから家には帰ってないんです。先生にも兄さんが無断欠席したって聞いたんですけど、
事情はわからないか。そうだよな。さくらが知ってるわけないし。ごめん、見当違いなことを聞いちまった。い
え、そんなことありません。兄さんのことは私が一番よく知っているんですから。兄さんが休んだ理由ぐらい気づかないといけないでしょ。
いや、そんなことはないだろう。実際さくらがうちにいてくれて助かったし。
The event in the woods. If the person there really was Shinji, he has to have some kind of connection with the servant in black. Then there's the worst case possibility that he is a master. If that's the case, wouldn't it be dangerous to let Sakura go back to her house?
先輩、それはどういう。
さくら、 今夜もうちに泊まってけ。着替えなら藤根のを使っていいから。
先輩、それは。
できるならしばらく泊まり続けてくれると助かる。いや、さくらが迷惑だって言うんなら帰ってくれていいんだが。
Oh. But it's absurd. It's troubling to be asked so suddenly to stay over.
すまん、困らせるようなこと言って悪かった。
I bow my head and apologize. Then,
はい。お言葉に甘えます。
Sakura agrees so quietly that it's almost lost in the sound of cooking stew. It's getting late. I went to the dojo with Saber after dinner to receive my punishment. Saber called it training, but I swear she was just beating me up. And when we finished, it was past 10 o'clock. It seems they're sleeping together again today, as Fujine and Sakura go to the Japanese-style room.
シロ、どうしました？部屋に戻るのではないのですか？
ああ、戻るよ。ただその前にセイバーに聞いておきたいことがあって。
気になることですか？どうぞ。私に答えられることであれば構いませんが。
I guess I'll get right to the point. What Archer said. Servants who have no freedom seek the Holy Grail to obtain freedom. It has to be the case for Saber, but she said Saber would not. But he said Saber would not wish for freedom. First mistake of the night.
セイバー、お前は聖杯が必要なんだよな。
はい。私の目的は聖杯です。そのために私は英霊になった。それは以前にも話したはずですが。
分かってる。けど、それは何のためなんだ？聖杯さえ手に入れれば、サーバントはマスターがいなくてもこっちに留まってられるんだろう。なら、セイバーは聖杯を手に入れて、ここでやりたいことをやるんだよな。
いいえ、聖杯を手に入れた後、私はこの世界から去るだけです。この時代の人間ではない私がここにいることは許されませんし、何より私にはやりたいことなどありませんから。
Her eyes show her determination. It shows no hesitation nor lies. In that case, there's nothing I can say to her.
そうか。セイバーの目的が何なのかはわからないから強くは言えないけど。
I think it's unlike Saber to ask for a wish from the Holy Grail. I don't know what the Holy Grail is, but I vaguely think that it's not appropriate for this golden-haired girl.
約束したからな。セイバーに聖杯を手に入れさせるって。今はそれを信じよ
う。何かあったのですか、シロ。どうも帰ってきてからのあなたは覇気がないように思いますが。
そんなことはないけどな。だってそうだ、セイバー今後の方針なんだが。
Saber looks serious now. As expected of her, Saber is Saber no matter how well she gets along with Fujine. It's annoying, but her true nature is revealed in her fighting, like Archer said.
今日学校に行ってそこに3人目のマスターがいるってことが分かったんだ。そこで遠坂と一波乱起きた。いろいろあって学校に潜んでいるマスターを探し出すまで遠坂とは休戦協定を結んだんだが。
I report what happened today in a hurry. Saber is listening seriously at first, but as the story goes on, she starts to look at me unhappily.
セイバー、遠坂と協力するのは反対か？
いいえ、シロには知識がないのですから、凛から学ぶのは賛成です。ですが、そういった大事を決めたのならすぐに伝えてほしい。それと、できるのなら相談も。
Saber glares at me. I'm ashamed of myself since she's absolutely right.
では、明日からは凛と協力して校舎を探索するのですね。
そういうことになる。 何か異常を見つけたらセイバーを呼ぶから、それまで待機していてくれ。
方針としては手ぬるいですが、シローが先頭になれるまではちょうどいいでしょう。当面は学校に結界を張ったマスターを追うのですね。
I nod. After thinking for a while.
確認しますが、学校に潜むマスターを倒した後はリンとの休戦協定は白紙に戻り、彼女とは敵同士に戻る。それに間違いはありませんね。
Saber asks to make sure. Well, what do we say? This is not a decision that matters too much, so do we agree with her, or do we say that we can't say for sure? Whether Rin will become our enemy once again after we defeat the Hidden Master at school. I will let chat decide. Agree with her? Alright. I guess that's how it'll be. I guess that's true no matter how much I smooth this over. Tosaka will challenge me even if I refuse to fight. If that happens, it'll just be more painful for Tosaka if I get killed by her without putting up a fight.
ああ、学校に潜むマスターを倒したら遠坂とは敵同士に戻る。それでいいんだろ、セイバー。
はい、それを理解してくれているのなら私からは何もありません。リンと協力し、シローの戦闘経験を増やすとしましょう。
Saber bows and leaves. Battles are unavoidable as long as I'm a master. We will eventually fight as long as we're alive. When that time comes, will I be able to fight Tosaka like Saber said? And that is the end of day 5. Into day 6. Faker. I am dreaming. Using a small connection like a blood vessel, I see a memory that I cannot reach. It is his memories. At the very least, it's not mine. This is someone else's story. It's so long ago that he doesn't even recall it. It's so old that he doesn't even try to recall it. It's so ancient that he cannot recall it. It is a heavy burden of a contract that has been established and cannot be withdrawn. It's not like he wanted something. If anything, he was the kind of guy that could not put up with anything. He cannot put up with having people cry around him. He cannot put up with having people get hurt around him. He cannot put up with having people die around him. That's the only reason he had. And for that reason only, he tried to help everybody in his sight. He was clumsy and it made you worry if you were looking at him. But he would accomplish it in the end, and I think he changed a lot of people's lives. I'm sure his life was a happy one. His clumsy battles were not meaningless. He was able to save people proportional to how much he got hurt and how many times he faced death. But there's one pitfall there. I said everybody in his sight. But one can never look at oneself. So, in the end, he could not save the most important person of all, himself. I don't know how it ended up like that. No, it should be the other way around. It was a wonder that it didn't end up like this earlier. Anyway, it was a terrible disaster. A lot of people died, and a lot of people were facing death. Something that could not be solved with his powers alone. With many deaths in front of him, he...
契約しよう。我が死後を預ける。その報酬をここにもらい受けたい。
Yes, he made a contract with something as mysterious as the world. Throwing away himself to save people. It is the birth of a hero. That's all. There's nothing after that. Even if he is called a hero, it doesn't change what he does. From the beginning, it was not his objective to be a hero. It's just that he needed the power of a hero in the process. But his end came rather quickly. An excellent savior is nothing but a nuisance for the people that are not getting saved. He understands his own powers and the extent of the world. He accepts what can be saved and what cannot be saved. That's why he wanted at least the people in his sight to be happy. A lot of people called it hypocrisy. Many despised it as an extreme value. The way he silently pursued his ideal was something he should have been proud of. But in the end, he met an uncompensated end, as the contract promised. He reaches the place. He had friends and a lover. He lost all of them, and he was cornered by the ideal he pursued. He had no place to go. He was burdened with many voices of resentment, but still kept fighting. He knew of his fate, but he acted like he tried to perform miracles, using his fate as a support. But that comes to an end. The place he reaches at the end is a hill of swords. His battle ends on the hill among the rusted, ownerless steel. Still alone. But he smiles in satisfaction as he lets go of the sword. As if saying there's nothing to regret if he was able to save everybody that came into his sight. My body feels heavy. My awakening comes with a headache.
昨日の傷のせいかな。右腕、まだかすかに痛むし。
I murmur while getting up. It's past 6 o'clock.
まず、今日くらい朝飯作らないと。
I jump out of my futon and change instantly. Fujine and Sakura have morning practice. They'll be leaving here around 6:30, so I won't make it unless I hurry. After I see them off, I drink tea with Saber. Time flies by and it's past 7 o'clock before I realize it.
それじゃあ行ってくる。留守番よろしくな、セイバー。
はい。シローも気をつけて。リンの助力があるとはいえ、無茶はしないように。
なあ、昨日で懲りてる。敵を追いかけるときはセイバーの力を借りるよ。
I wave goodbye and leave. The morning air is peaceful, but the place I'm heading to isn't normal anymore.
よし。
I get myself mentally ready as I go down the hill. Tosuka's acting like a master, so I should act as one too. I get to class right on time. I greet people as I make my way to my... On my way, my eyes catch a glimpse of someone and my mind goes blank. I don't need to think. I run straight to Shinji.
シンジ、お前。
いやあエミヤ、どうしたんだよ。今朝は随分と物騒じゃないか。何？ 僕が休んでる時に何かあったの？
何かあったじゃない。お前三つに何をした？
三つ釣り？ああ、綾子ね。何でも家出してたらしいじゃん。僕も今朝道場で聞いたよ。昨日信徒の方で見つかったんだってね。
I don't know what's funny, but Shinji laughs. It looks like he's sneering at her. Bite, attack, kill.
とぼけるな。三つと最後に会ったのはお前だろう。その時あいつに何をしたかって聞いてるんだよ俺は。
はあ？何をしたかって？それよりさ、聞いたかいエニア。綾子のやつそこいらの路地裏に転がってたんだぜ。フラフラでさ、制服もボロボロだったって話さ。いや、何があったか知らないけどさ、ちょっと聞き捨てならないよな。普段から選ぶってるあいつがさ、どんな風に捨てられてたか興味あるよね。
Attack!
どうしたんだよ、そんな怖い顔して。冗談だよ冗談、本気にするなって。それに綾子は保護されたんだろ。家で療養中だっけ。ま、あいつが帰ってくる頃には噂話も広まってるだろうから、
Gee,
何
and
か
I
とやり
sure
づらくな
wonder
るだろう
who's
けど。
spreading the rumor.
お前今の話弓道部のみんなに話したっていうのか。
さあね。けどもう1年の間じゃ有名だぜ。伝言ゲームじゃないけど昨日のうちからくるくる回ってたらしいからさ。
I clench my fists. Did he go around and tell everyone such a story? Mitsuzuri is a girl. Everyone thinks she's strong, but she's still a girl. So no matter how strong she is, it'll destroy her if such a rumor is spreading. And he still spread the rumor in spite of that? He took a secret and spread it irresponsibly.
シンジ、お前。
I grab his shoulder.
そう睨むなよ。僕は知らないって言ってるだろ。身勝手な思いつきで言いがかりをつけると後悔するよエミヤ。
Punch him! Punch him! Punch him! Shaking my hand off, Shinji goes to sit down. The homeroom bell rings. I can't stay standing when everyone's sitting down. I glare at Shinji one more time and head to my seat. Fight, kill, maim! The day ends. School's over and the students head home one after another. I could have questioned Shinji, but I don't have any proof right now. Even if I told him about seeing him in the woods yesterday, it would amount to nothing if he tells me he just happened to be there.
先に確証を取らないと。
I don't know if he's a master or not, but I'm sure he has something to do with Mitsuzuri's case.
マスターを識別する方法。服を脱がしてレイジを見つけるしかないのか。
Well, I'm sure no master's going to allow me to do that.
そろそろか。遠坂ならいい方法を知ってるかもな。
I get up. I promised Tosaka I'd meet her in the hallway after school. I get together with Tosaka and look around the whole school. According to Tosaka, the boundary field has its foundations set up throughout the school. Tosaka's been searching and erasing them, but it seems they keep coming back up, or new ones are created, preventing Tosaka from completely eliminating the boundary field.
結界自体はもう貼られちゃってるから、私がやってることは効力を弱めているだけよ。それでもやらないよりはマシだし、不完全なうちは相手だって結界を発動させないでしょ。
That's the case, according to her.
遠坂、聞きたいことがあるんだけど、いいか？
I call out to Tosaka after she eliminates the mark on the rooftop.
何？まだ屋上に違和感を感じるの？
いや、それとは別件。ここにはもうおかしなところはない。俺の方はここで打ち止めだ。
そう。なら生きている地獄はほとんど消せたかな。エミヤ君、魔力感知はできないくせに場所の異常には敏感なんだもの。 まさかこんなに早く校舎内の時刻を消せるとは思わなかった。
Tosuka's in a good mood. I'm happy I got to be of help, but this is no time for that.
なあトサカ、マスターってのはマスターがわかるのか？そのサーバントは隠していてもただいるだけで気配が変わるとか。
え、別にそんなことはないけど。そうね、何も細工をしなければマスターの識別はできるでしょうね。マスターはもともと魔術師がなるものだから、魔力を探っていけば魔術師は見つけられる。加えてサーバントなんていう破格の使い魔と契約してるんだから、隠したって魔力は漏れるわ。エミヤ君は鈍感だから気がつかないけど、私だって魔力を残して歩いてる。魔術師が見たら一目で私がマスターだってわかるだろうし、私だってマスターを見れば識別できるんじゃないかな。
She really just casually called him stupid.
そうなのか。けどトサカ、俺が魔術師だって知らなかっただろう。それはどういうことだよ。
何？それ言っていいの？
Tosuka sounds mean now. I have a bad feeling about this.
いや、いい。だいたい想像ついた、今。
賢明ね。まあそういうことよ。魔術師じゃなくても微力な魔力を持つ人はいる。魔術師はね、一定以上の魔力を帯びたものしか魔術師って認めないの。
はいはい、そんなことだろうと思ったよ。けどそれじゃあ今の俺はどうなんだ？
それが全然変わらないのよね。まあ不完全な召喚だったっていうし、傷を治す以外はセイバーとのつながりは薄いんでしょうね。まあエミヤ君は特例だからそういうこともありでしょう。
Then Shinji isn't a master. Even if I can't tell, Tosuka can identify a master. Tosuka should be able to feel the lingering magical energy if Shinji is a master with a servant.
なんだ、マスター探しだなんて言うけど、その気になればすぐにでも見つけられるんじゃないか。
そうでもないわよ。例えばの話、魔力を隠してしまう道具を持っていれば敵には悟られないもの。まあサーバントのデタラメな魔力を消せる道具なんて少ないでしょうから、そんなマスターはいないと思うけど。
じゃあもし遠坂の身近にいる人間がマスターでもそんな道具を持っていたらわからないってことか。
どうかな、ものによるけど、どんなに隠しても近くにいればわかると思う。サーバントと契約している以上、どうしても世界との摩擦は起きるから。身近にいてもマスターかどうかわからないってことは、そのマスターはサーバントを使っていないってことよ。まあ例外はあるかもしれないけど、9割方はそう考えて間違いないと思うわ。
We returned to the classroom. Even though we couldn't find any clues about other masters, it seems Tosuka's happy that we eliminated a lot of the marks. She said something about the enemy coming out in the future because we were so active and whatnot.
気が長いな。近いうちって言ってもどのくらい先かわからないだろ
う。そう？こんな結界を張るやつだもの。邪魔されて我慢できる性格じゃないわ。私の見立てでは明日よ。2度目は黙ってられない性格でしょ、こいつ。
そんなもんなのか。
そんなもんよ。さて、私は用事があるから先に帰るわ。明日の決戦に備えていろいろ買わなくちゃいけないし。それじゃあまた明日。それと今日は早めに帰りなさい。寄り道なんてしたらダメだからね。
なんだ、心配してくれるんだ、遠坂。
違うわよ。協力関係になったんだから勝手に脱落されちゃ予定が狂うじゃない。今のはそれだけのちょっとした確認事項。
Oh, Rin. So, a fun fact. You know how, or have you ever noticed how it's really common for tsundere characters to have, like, twin tails and short skirts and thigh highs? Yeah, Rin was one of the OGs of that. Rin helped popularize that particular character design trope for tsunderes. It's her, Asuka from Evangelion, and I swear there was a third character who helped popularize this. I don't remember who she is, though. I almost want to say... I have no idea. I don't remember. Tosuka says so quickly. Her panic is so unlike her, and it's obvious that she's only hiding her embarrassment. I see. I'm beginning to understand more about Tosuka.
ともかくエミヤ君は無防備すぎるんだからあんまり軽率な行動はしないこと。私は例外で他の連中は即命を奪いに来るんだからね。
Tosuka looks away and tries to leave. Seeing her leave, I suddenly...
トサカ、今もアーチャーはそばにいるのか?
murmur something meaningless.
いるけど何？あいつに話でもあるの？
いや別に。トサカはうまくやってるのかなと思って。
Tosuka looks back at me in wonder at the sudden question. Then...
はは、そういうこと。ええ、心配無用よ。あいつひねくれてるけどいいやつだもの。あ、付き合っていく分には楽しいわ。
Saying so happily, Tosuka disappears down the stairs. Mitsuzuri's case might still be affecting me, as I am at the archery range before I know it. The range is far from the school building and seems deserted. The club activities are over, so there's nothing to find here.
帰るか。
I turn around and head to the gate. And between me and the gate stands Mato Shinji, as if to block my way.
いや、今頃お帰りかい？最近は物騒だから、生徒は速やかに下校するんじゃなかったっけ？
I don't think I can be calm facing Shinji here. I ignore him and keep walking.
友人に挨拶もできないぐらい疲れてるわけか。まったく。樹木潰しなんて地味なことしてるからそうなるんだよ。
And there it is. His voice sounds delighted. I jump back and ready myself.
樹木潰し。そんなことを言えるってことは、お前。
I glare at Shinji.
ああ、そういうこと。お前がしらみつぶしにしてくれた結界はさ、僕が仕掛けた保険なんだぜ。それをあんな風に消されちゃ、こっちは怖くて学校に来れなくなるじゃないか。
I see. So this is how stupid I am. I knew about it when I saw Shinji in the woods, but I rejected the idea because I was unprepared for the truth.
待てって。そう構えないでよ、エミヤ。うるさい遠坂もいなくなったし、男同士ゆっくり話し合おうじゃない？知っての通り、喧嘩は嫌いなんだよ、僕は。
話し合う？俺とやり合う気はないっていうのか。
そんなのあるもんか。見たところ、エミヤもマスターなんてものに無理やりさせられたんだろ？僕もそれと同じでね、魔術師でもなければ戦う気もないっていうのにマスターにさせられたんだ。で、目下のところ誰とも戦わないで済む方法を探してる最中ってわけ。だからここでエミヤと争う気なんてないんだ。
そうかよ。じゃああの結界は何だ？あんなものを仕掛けておいて戦う気はないっていうのか。
バカだな。あれは欲しいんだよ。学校には遠坂っていう根っからの魔術師がいるだろ。あいつはマスター同士の戦いに躊躇なんてしない。となると魔術師じゃないマスターとしては防護策を持っておかないとやっていけないじゃないか。
That is not for your protection, and you know it.
あの結界はそれだけのものだよ。誰かに襲われない限り発動させることはない。
Liar. He's making sense. I don't know if Shinji is really a master or not, or how he became one. But I can trust his story. If Shinji says so, I should believe him. But before that...
シンジ、昨日女生徒を襲ったのはお前か？
I have to get this question answered.
昨日のことか。あれは仕方がなかったんだ。僕のサーバントはジャジャ馬でね、放っておくと人を襲う。僕はマスターに選ばれただけの人間だ。遠坂みたいな本業じゃないんだから、言いつけを聞かせることも大変なんだよ。
じゃあ昨日の件はあくまで事故なんだな。お前のサーバントが勝手にやったことだと。
ああ、これからは気をつけるよ。僕も自分の住処で事件なんて起こしたくない。あいつには僕を守ることだけ徹底させるさ。
それは本当だな、シンジ。
ああ、嘘を言ってもしょうがないだろ。隠しておくこともできたのに、こうしてわざわざ告白してやったんだ。エミヤ、僕のことを疑ってただろう。むやみに襲われたら行き着くところまで行くしかなくなるからさ、先にこうやって正体を明かしたんだ。僕は誰とも戦いたくはないからね。
I can't trust everything he says. But if Shinji really thinks so, everything would work out.
わかった、信じる。お前が何もしないんなら俺も手は出さない。それでいいんだな、シンジ。
いいね。エミヤにしては物分かりがいい。けどそれじゃあ困るんだ。こうやって話し合いに来たことをもう少し理解してくれないかな。
Shinji holds out his hand. So that means...
僕に協力しないか、エミヤ。お
No.
前は知らないだろうけど、もともとマトウの家は魔術師の家系なんだ。
No.
まあ、父の代でマドウは耐えていたけど、知識だけはまだ残っている。どうかな？素人のくせにマスターになった君にとっては頼りになる存在だろう。
The Mato line is a family of magi? Tosaka didn't say such a thing. No, she must have excluded him since magic died out in his father's generation, like he said.
どう？遠坂に頼らなくても、僕たちが手を組めば聖杯戦争ぐらい生き残れる。こんなの考えるまでもないと思うけど。
His hand is held out. Shinji's proposal isn't bad. It makes sense and it's a viable option. But...
シンジ、お前がマスターだってことをさくらは知ってるのか？
はあ？なんだ、本当に素人なんだな、エミヤ。いいかい？魔術師の家系は長男にしか秘技を伝えないんだ。長男以外の子供なんてただの予備に過ぎない。そんなのに魔術を伝える意味はないし、手間も惜しいんだよ。たく、あんなトロい女に窓を伝えるもんか。マトウの秘技を継いだのは僕だけだ。
I see. That's really good. Sakura shouldn't be involved in all this. I want her to be smiling happily all the time.
シンジ、お前が何もしないんなら俺もお前には何もしない。それで文句はないだろう。
そう、協力はできないってこと？
する必要なんかないだろう。お互い戦わないんなら協力するもしないもない。自分の身を守りたいだけなら聖杯戦争が終わるまで教会に保護してもらえばいい。それぐらいのことは知ってるんだろ
う。へえ、なんだよエミヤ。君、もしかしてこの殺し合いに勝とうだなんて思ってるの？
I have no intention of fighting. but I'll fight anyone that attacks me, and I can't just ignore people that'll bring disaster to this town. And
殺し合いなんてするか。ただ俺は聖杯ってやつの正体を見極めなくちゃいけない。そのためには最後まで残るしかないだろう。
I turn my back to Shinji.
そうかい。あくまで戦うつもりか。まあ僕には関係のないことだけど、それならさくらを巻き込むような真似はしないよな、エミヤ。
そんなの当たり前だ。お前こそさくらには隠し通すんだろうな。
もちろん。けど兄貴としてさ、これから殺し合いを続けるってやつの家に妹は置いておけない。お前が戦うって言うんなら、聖杯戦争が終わるまでさくらは家から出さない。それでいいよな、エミヤ。
Shinji does have a point. As long as I'll be fighting, my house is in danger.
わかった。さくらには俺の方から言っておく。それでいいな、シンジ。
オーケー。後輩思いの先輩で助かった。正直お前がいつさくらを人質にするかヒヤヒヤしてたからね。いや、これで当面の悩み事は解消されたよ。
I don't know what's funny, but Shinji laughs. I think I have an idea.
話はこれで終わりだな。なら帰るぞ。
ああ、ご自由に。けど分かってるよな、イミヤ。ここで話したことは僕たちだけの秘密だぜ。こっちはエミヤを友人と見込んで秘密を打ち明けたんだ。それを人に話すようなことになったら、
That must mean he'll activate the boundary field if I tell Tosaka about this.
ああ、黙ってる。けど遠坂が自分で見つける分には別だぞ。俺は遠坂にできる限り協力する。あいつがお前の正体を知ったら戦うことを止めない。そういうわけだから見つけられたくなかったらおとなしくしてるんだ。
I head to the gate for real. The school building is tinted by the setting sun. Shinji sees me off without a word. Status screen updated. Presumably just putting Shinji as Rider's Master. Yep. And that is the only information we have on her. There are only two sets of shoes at the entrance. Sorry if I sound a little weird, there is a piece of peppermint in my mouth right now. Fujine's and sabers. I'm worried, so I go to the living room without saying I'm home. I go through the hallway with quick steps. As I expected, Sakura isn't in the living room. Moreover, there's a person that looks like Fujine doing something like cooking. Oh god, get her out of there.
あ、おかえりしろ。何驚いた顔しちゃって。なんかあったの
？She must have been mixing flour as she puts a bowl she's been mixing onto the table.
ああ、いや、いつもと何もかも違うから。
Actually, I don't remember how many years it's been since I last saw her doing something like cooking.
いつもと違う？あ、そっか。さくらちゃんのことね。さくらちゃんなら帰ったわよ。お家の人から電話があって呼び戻されちゃった。
そうか。シンジのやつ、直接電話してきたのか。
It's needless help, but I guess he wanted to take care of it as quickly as possible.
シンジ君まあいっか。
After tilting her head in question, Fujine goes back to the kitchen. I'm a bit curious. It's not completely dark yet, so Oh boy, what do we do? Do we stop Fujine's culinary crimes in their tracks? Do we go check on Sakura? Or do we go check in with Saber? Which one shall it be? I suppose I will make the decision myself. I think I would like to go check on Sakura. I'll go see how Sakura's doing before the sun sets. Yeah. I'll go check on Sakura before the sun
藤ね、
sets.
ちょっと出てくる。どんな風の吹き回しだか知らないけど、夕飯の準備任せた。
はーい、いってらっしゃい。夕ご飯は美味しいカニ玉だからね。
Kanitama, huh? I do not know what Kanitama is. I guess even Fujine should be able to make that. Actually, I'm gonna look that up real quick. Hold on. Kanitama. Oh, crab omelet. Okay. That sounds kind of good. I go up the hill tinted by the sun. Sunset is early during winter. I have to go to Sakura's house quickly and check up on her.
あれ先輩どうしたんですかこんな時間に家に来るなんて。
いや、なんとなく近くまで寄ったから、ついでに。
ついでですかわかりました。そういうことにしておきます。
My bewilderment must have been funny as Sakura smiles. It's a big smile, and it doesn't look like Shinji's forcing her.
さくら、本当に要件はないんだけど、シンジはどうしてる？今家にいるのか？
兄さんですかいえ、今日はまだ帰ってきてないみたいですけど。
帰ってない？じゃあ誰がうちに電話したんだ？さくら、シンジに呼び戻されたんじゃないのか？
I've received a ping. Oh. My friend has started on a project. It looks interesting.
さあ、 私は藤村先生におじい様が待ってるから家に帰りなさいって言われただけですから、よくは。
I see. But it is true that Shinji hasn't done anything to Sakura. Shinji's her brother, after all. He would never involve such a good sister in this battle between the masters. And there's one thing I have to tell her so I don't involve her in this mess.
安心した。
先輩、
それでさくら、
急なんですけど、
しばらくの間だけど
し
手
ばらくの間
伝いは遠慮してもらえないか。
お手伝いには行けそうにないんです。
We look at each other dumbfounded. We stare at each other for about 10 seconds.
ちょっと残念ですけど、先輩からそう言ってもらえて助かりました。しばらくは家にいて、夜は出歩くなって言われているんです。
そうだよな。最近物騒だし、もっと早くにそうするべきだった。
はい、しばらく先輩のお家に行くのは遠慮します。張り合いがなくなっちゃいますけど、我慢すればすぐ元通りですから。それまでできれば弓道部の方に顔を出してくださいね、先輩。
Sakura bows and goes back into her house. I managed to make it back before dinner. An angry swordsman awaited me at the entrance, and I told her about what happened today, about how we eliminated the boundary field at school, and how Tosaka is expecting a counterattack tomorrow. I don't tell her about Shinji. I don't want her to consider him as an enemy until I figure out his true intentions.
話は分かりました。では夕食にしましょうか、シロ。先ほどからタイガが食事の支度をして待っています。
She must be hungry, as Saber quickly makes her way to the living room. Feed the king!
そっか。藤姉の料理なんてガキの頃以来だな。
I'm half scared and half looking forward to it. Man, who could have imagined that it was going to turn into such a disaster? Oh god. It's time for dinner. Fujine's special Kanitama bowl is ready on the table. It's a simple dish where there's rice in the bowl and Kanitama put on top of it. It looks like there's a yellow lid on the bowl, and it honestly doesn't look good. But it should make the rice taste better since it's in a bowl. It's like katsu bowl and teriyaki bowl. There's no way it can taste bad because the good taste of the ingredients seep into the rice. The only drawback is that the taste is simple, but that's a small price to pay.
じゃあいただきます。
はい、いただきます。
いただきます。
We bow and dig into our food. Then, the food isn't soft like Kanitama. No, it feels strange, like I'm eating a main dish.
事件発生。カニ玉丼が別の料理になってるよ。
This isn't an emergency or anything. This is more like an okonomiyaki bowl.
ねえ、なんでこうなっちゃったの？私ちゃんと聞いた通り作ったよ。
うわ、もしかして藤姉にこれ教えたの藤村組の若衆さん？
うん。おっきな卵焼き作るって言ったら小麦粉とかいろいろくれたの。
I wanted her to realize the mistake right then. I thought that being able to make an omelet was a function every human being was born with. Kanitama is just a variant of an omelet. It was my mistake to assume that Fujine couldn't mess up something like that. That's right, Fujine can't even cook an omelet.
シロ、
Then, I hear a voice filled with disappointment.
セイバ
I slowly turn to her.
シロ、いくら私でもさすがにこれは食べにくい。
Crap. It's hard to tell, but it seems Saber's mad. The hellish dinner ends and it's time for a strategy meeting. But I've already reported to Saber about what happened today. Since it's likely that there will be a fight tomorrow, we should be preparing.
それでは今夜も外に出ることはないのですか、シロ。
ー。なあ、セイバーには歯がゆいだろうけど、今はそれで我慢してくれ。むやみに戦う気はないし、何よりめったやたらに戦えるほど余裕がある状況じゃないだろう、俺たちは。
I'm inexperienced as a master, and Saber has a limit to how many times she can fight since I'm not giving her any magical energy. We can't be leisurely looking for masters in our situation.
わかりました。確かにシロの言い分には一理あります。積極的ではありませんが、勝利するためには細心の注意も必要ですから。ですが、戦う意志があるというのなら無駄な時間は使えません。今夜はここに留まるというのであらば、その時間を鍛錬に使うべきです。
Saber stares at me. She doesn't even need to tell me. I brought Saber to this dojo with that in mind.
わかってる。セイバー、昨日のこと覚えてるか？俺が夜遅く帰ってきたら、たるんでるってことで手合わせしただろ？あれ、いい教訓になったんだ。勝てない奴には何をやっても勝てない。そんな初歩的なこと、セイバーと向き合うまで気づかなかった。そういった心構えの意味も含めて、セイバーと手合わせするのは大切だと思う。どのくらい効果があるかわからないけど、セイバーがその気になって相手をしてくれれば、俺も少しは生き延びることができるだろう。
では、シロ。
ああ、これからは時間に余裕がある限り鍛えてくれ。差し当たってはこれから寝るまで。
I take the shinai on the wall. It's still 8 o'clock. There's still 4 hours until bedtime, so I'll train my heart out.
セイバー、ちょっと待った。
I stop Saber since I feel my life's in danger. Because as Saber turns to me.
何か戦う心構えを鍛えたいということですので、私もシロの意気込みに応えてみたのですが。
She is obviously ready to kill me.
さあ、鍛錬を始めましょう、シロ。まずはあなたの不明を打ちます。確かにシロはたるんでいますからね。今後、今夜のようなことがないよう気を引き締めてもらわなければ。
So she's mad about dinner.
なんだそりゃ、あれはフジネーが悪いんだろう。それにセイバーだって文句言いながらちゃんと全部平らげて。
問答無用。それにシロ、意識を失う前に言っておきますが、あれはやむなくです。今後それを忘れぬように。
Saber disappears. Oh man. So I'll go through 4 hours of torture now, huh? Grudges over food sure are scary.
いった。セイバーのやつ、やるとなったら本気で手加減なしでやんの。
I get into my futon. My body is covered in bruises and pain-killing patches, and I'm sure I'll be all sore tomorrow.
疲れた。
I take a breath. I trained my strengthening magic after Saber's training, and I'm tired both physically and mentally. Saber and Fujine are sleeping in a room a bit away from here, but I don't care. I'm just tired. I'll sleep for now and prepare for tomorrow. But that is not the end of day 6. No, no, no. Come here. Come here, come here, come here. Am I dreaming? My mind's dozing off. My body's asleep and I can't move a finger. Then this has to be a dream. It's a dark night. My ears are ringing. My feet are asleep, but I'm walking down the hill. Come here, come here, come here. It's cold. The wind is blowing on me, and since I'm in my pajamas, my body is freezing. This coldness is unlike Fuyuki City. The chill would be cold enough to wake me up if this were a dream. Come here, come here, come here. Come here, come here, come here. I walk through the empty town. The annoying sound won't stop. Ignoring my shivering body, my feet are moving towards somewhere. I try to scream and realize that my throat is frozen. This isn't a dream. This can't be a dream. But my mind's still asleep. My limbs, they aren't following my orders, and they are walking on as if manipulated by something. Come here. Come here, come here. This must be the destination. My feet move faster as they move up the stairs. Now, come here, boy. The ringing in my ears turns into a voice. No, that's wrong. The sound hasn't changed at all. It has been repeating the same thing over and over.
おいで。さあ、ここまでいらっしゃい、坊や。
Oh, Caster. What fills my head is a female voice filled with magical energy. I see the mountain gate. Something's on the other side. And if I cross that gate, I won't come out alive. I don't know what it is, but my dozing mind screams out for me to run away. Go back. Go back. Go back. Stop. You can still make it. Wake up and go back. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. My consciousness wakes up. Yeah, it like automatically went forward. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Don't listen to that voice. My consciousness wakes up. My head clears and my will finally returns. But it's too late. My limbs don't obey me as they go through the mountain gate. The only certain thing is my mind. My body does not listen to my will and walks into the Ryudo temple following the voice. The temple is covered in darkness. In the center stands something with an inhuman magical energy. The figure wavers like a mirage. The shadow reminding me of death, strips off the darkness, and the figure becomes a witch like one would see in a fairy tale.
そこで止まりなさい、坊や。それ以上近づかれると殺してしまうでしょ。
Oh, Caster. A sneering laugh. It seems my body is under her control. My feet that never stopped freeze at the command. My consciousness wavers. My limbs still do not move, and an unknown enemy is standing before me. Yes, she's an enemy. I can be sure of that. She's a servant, a heroic spirit that excels the most in magic out of the 7 servants. I move my throat with all my effort and glare at my enemy.
その通りよ、坊や。ようこそ私の神殿へ。歓迎するわ、セイバーのマスターさん。
Her cool voice is mocking me. I put power into my legs, but my body will not move. Damn, what the hell am I doing? I've been lured here, and on top of that, I can't move a muscle. I concentrate on my limbs with all my power. I don't know what kind of a trick it is, but it has to be her magic that's restraining me. Then if I can extract her magical energy out of my body...
自由になれると思って可愛いこと。そんな方法で私の呪縛を解こうだなんて随分と優しいのね、あなた。
I concentrate all my will to search throughout my body. Caster's magical energy. The enemy's magical energy that's inside me, restraining my body. I just realized that tonight should be when we get an iconic line. I look inside my body while keeping my eyes open. It's all right. It's nothing difficult if I'm calm. I identify the flow of magical energy every night. I just have to do what I've been doing and identify Caster's poison inside of me. Even if I can't get it out of my body, I can concentrate it into one of my limbs so that I can move the other 3. How can this be? Caster's magical energy is not mixed within me. The only poison-like element is this one small point on my chest. But all of my body is acting abnormally. It's not that there's something wrong with the blood flowing in me. If there's something abnormal, it's not my blood, but the blood vessels themselves. It's like having my heart locked up. The red spot on my chest has to be Caster's magical energy. One cursed word is taking away my body's authority. It means I was cursed when I was sleeping. Even if I was asleep, it should have been impossible for me to be seized by a magic cast from so far away. Magi have magic resistance. It is the power to repel magic such as hypnotism, binding, and coercion. As long as one is a magus, one cannot be easily controlled by others. It's a fundamental law. Magi have magic circuits. The circuit in one's body does not only make magical energy, but it can also repel external magical energy. Therefore, it is difficult to interfere with someone with a magic circuit, and it is difficult even to control a magus several ranks lower than you. As the magic circuit repels external magical energy, magic is destroyed before it can be completed. For that reason, indirect intervention magic, such as hypnotism and binding, has a low success rate. Even if the target is not a magus, the magic can be repelled unconsciously if the target has a magic circuit. From that point of view, an intervention of just attacking with pure magical energy like Tosaka does, making a weapon in this world and attacking the opponent as a result, is a simple method. Physical impact works on everyone. It does not matter if the target has a magic circuit or not, as people will bleed if they are cut with a knife. That's why this situation is strange. I'm sure I could be affected if I had magic cast on me from close range. If I had met Caster before and she had cast coercion on me, it's probable that I could be controlled even at a distance. But I have not met Caster before, nor have I had a curse cast on me. So this is our first meeting. Without moving from here, Caster cast a spell to the faraway Emiya house and controlled my body. The word witch pops into my head. If she can control a magus's body from a distance of a few kilometers, does it not mean that Caster can control everyone in this town from here? My spirits weaken. As the magic is complete, there's no way I can dispel it. I can't do anything unless Caster releases me or I get some outside help.
理解できて？あなたを縛っているのは私の魔力ではなく、魔術そのもの。一度成立した魔術は、魔力という水では洗い流せない。液体と固体のようなものよ。形を得たものに水をかけても、その形は崩れないでしょ。
The shadow steps closer to me. The bluish-purple robe melting into the night is smiling.
けれど例外もあるわ。 例えばそうね、あなたたちが編み上げた魔術など、私にしてみれば泥の建造物に過ぎない。そんなものかける水流が多く激しければ形になっていようと簡単に洗い流せる。理解できて？私とあなたたちの違いはそういう次元の話なのよ。
それでわざわざこんなところまで呼びつけたわけ。
ええ、マスターたちは皆小物だけど、その中でもあなたは飛び抜けて力不足でしたから。何しろ町の人間たちと変わらない高魔力ですもの。そんなマスターを見つけたらこうして話をしたくなるのは当然でしょ。
She smiles. She shows superiority as if I'm her prey. A chill runs through me. Don't lie about wanting to talk to me. She's ready to kill me at any moment.
ほらまた誤解。安心なさい。殺してしまっては魔力を吸い上げられないわ。この町の人間は皆私のものですからね。殺さない程度に生かし続けて、最後の一滴まで差し出してもらわないと。
Her laugh echoes in my ears. A missing piece fits inside my head. Did she just say she'll suck up all the magical energy from the people in this town?
キャスター、お前無関係な人間に手を出しただ。
あら、知らなかったの？あの小娘と手を組んだのだから当然知っているものと思っていたけど。そう、まだ知らなかったのね、あなた。
Caster smiles even more. It seems like she's pondering how to kill her prey.
なら教えてあげる。私、キャスターのサーバントには陣地を作る権利があるのよ。魔術師は工房を持つものでしょ。それと同じよ。私はこの場所に神殿を作ってあなたたちから身を守る。幸いこの土地はサーバントにとって鬼門ですからね。陣地としては優れているし、何より魔力を集めやすい。初めはあまりにもあなたたちの魔力が少なくて加減がつかなかったけれど、今は程よく集められるわ。ほら見えるでしょ。この土地に溜まった数百人分の魔力の貯蔵、有象無象の人のかけらが。
じゃあ町で起きてる事件はお前。
ええ、ここは私の神殿だと言ったでしょ。なら供物を捧げるのは下界でうごめく人間たちの使命ではなくて。
The strange coma incidents happening in town. I thought there weren't that many victims, but she just said hundreds of people. When I strain my eyes, it looks like the swirl of magical energy in this place is made of more than 1,000 souls.
キャスター。
I concentrate all my will into my limbs, but there's no change, and Caster's standing there as if to make fun of me.
さあ、それでは話を済ませてしまいましょうか。あなたもずっとそうしているのは退屈でしょ。
She whispers into my ear. At the same time, the enemy I couldn't see fills my vision.
セイバーのマスター、あなたからはその令状をもらってあげるわ。セイバーは消すには惜しいサーバントですもの。彼女にはあの目障りなバーサーカーを倒してもらうとしましょう。
Caster raises her arm. Her fingers are going for my arm.
令状を奪うだと。
Is that possible? I think Tosika said that one needs to pull out the nerves along with the command spell.
そうよ。まずはその皮を剥いで、それから令状を私のマスターに移植する。けれど令状は所有者の魔術回路と一体化しているでしょ。令状を剥奪するということは あなたから神経を引き抜くということでもあるわ。
Caster says so as if it's nothing at all. Pull out my nerves? She'll cut off my arm and take all the nerves in my body with it? If she does that, I'll...
ええ、正常ではいられなくなるでしょうね。けれど安心なさい。命まで取りはしないから。
I desperately put power into my limbs, but they don't even twitch. My limbs won't move, and I'm like a prisoner about to be executed. A bewitching smile. The glowing fingers reach out for my left hand like a crawling spider. Status screen updated. We got some info on Caster. Let's see, what do we got? Female, neutral, evil, strength E, endurance D, agility C, magical energy A+, luck B, noble phantasm C. Class abilities. Territory creation A. Creates an area that is advantageous to oneself as a magus. Enables the creation of a temple, superior to a workshop. Tool creation A. Allows creation of tools that carry magical energy. It even allows for the creation of an immortality serum, but the result is only an imitation. Details, nothing. Skills. High-speed divine language. A. Or rapid words of the divine. Allows the activation of magic without connecting to the magic circuit or incanting the spells. Even great magic can be activated with just a single action. It is a language from the Age of Gods, so modern humans cannot pronounce it. We have nothing on her noble phantasm yet. I just noticed a very, very faint Neko arc here. Hello? What is Neko arc doing here? She's not on other servant skill lists. Where did she come from? Hello? What is she doing here? Burunya. Okay. How long has it taken her to notice that something is wrong? She wakes up to a strange feeling and goes out into the hallway.
Shiro.
She first thinks that the feeling might be coming from her master. It is because the strange feeling is coming from Emiya Shiro's room.
まったく。まだ魔術の鍛錬をしているのですか?
The golden-haired girl, Saber, sighs. It's good that he's enthusiastic, but he will collapse unless he rests while he can. And when she decides to go warn him, she realizes her own mistake. She gasps after confirming it. The strange feeling isn't coming from Shiro's room. Under the moonlight, a string, thin as her hair, runs through the darkness. The string is going into Shiro's room from outside. A thin string that even the boundary field here did not catch. If one is to give praise to the one who pulled off such a thing, one also needs to give praise to Saber for noticing such a thing. There's no time to think. The girl turns into a knight in an instant and runs outside. She runs through the empty town. There's no hesitation in Saber as she runs. She knows where she must go. She only needs to follow the string, the beat of her master. The only thing she has to do is to run as fast as she can. It makes no difference whether her destination is the enemy's territory, nor how many traps might await her. She is sworn to protect her master, so anything that might befall her is negligible. It is a mountain stained with vast amounts of magical energy. Ghosts of the dead are flying above like crows. and the trees are covered with invisible blood. The collected magical energy, the stolen souls, remains here, and the mountain should consume anyone that may approach it. If there is such a thing as a place to die, this place is a perfect example. She goes in without hesitation. She had no intention to stop from the start. If this place is hell, she has to save her master all the more. She runs up the stone stairs. The traps she had anticipated are not there. The mountain gate is within her view, and she should reach it with one more kick from her magical energy-filled legs. But her advance stops right there. No, it is stopped by the enemy. Assassin! On the stairs leading to the mountain gate stands a servant. His name is Sasaki Kojiro, servant assassin, the protector of the Ryudo Temple, wielding the longsword Monohoshizao. Saber's mind is disturbed as she readies her invisible air. Her master is on the other side of that mountain gate, but the servant in front of her is way too strange. He reveals his true name willingly. He does not have a stance, and his cool enmity is transparent. She cannot figure out his power because of his transparency. She can sense his power as a servant. Assassin is not a strong servant, so it should be easy to defeat him, but her instincts are telling her something different. That she cannot beat him in a normal duel.
貴様に用はない。そこをどけ、アサシン。
She suppresses the strange unease and glares at Assassin. There's only one more step until they are both within range. Up or down. If either one moves, a fatal attack should be executed.
聞こえなかったのか。どけと言ったのだ、アサシン。
Her final warning. The swordsman with the long sword calmly responds to her words.
そうか。この門を通りたいのだな、セイバー。
Her green eyes glare at Assassin for asking such a foolish question. He must like the answer. The longsword dances through the night in an arc.
ならば押し通れ。急がねば、お前の主人とやらの命はないぞ。
He laughs in a cool manner.
アサシン。
Saber charges in reply. The longsword comes down at her at the same moment, and she repels it with her invisible sword. The clash of the swords echoes through the summit. Their powers are equal, but that is not an advantage for her. She's impatient. The enemy she must quickly defeat is a strong one that would be hard to beat even without any time constraints.
シロ、どうか。
She grits her teeth and prays. That opening, that excess part of her is permeating her body. The battle does not end. The mountain gate is too far away. Castor extends her finger. I want to fight back, but my body will not move. My limbs can't move freely and my senses are being taken away, and I'm sure she will eliminate me.
さよなら坊や。悔やむのなら、その程度の力量でマスターになったことを悔やみなさい。
My body does not move and accepts the finger of death. I resist the urge to close my eyes and keep glaring at Castor.
あらいい子ね。そういう頑張りは嫌いではありませんよ。
Castor sneers at my resistance and puts her finger on my command spell. Even my free will is numbing. In my fading consciousness, I hear a sound like crashing swords from the other side of the mountain gate. What kind of a miracle is it? I hear tens of sounds cutting through the air, and numerous arrows pierce the ground in front of me. Let's go, Archer! Castor instantly retreats, her robe fluttering behind her. There are arrows pierced in the ground in front of Castor. The 13 arrows were shot from above. They were probably all shot at the same time, and I'm sure it would have gotten Castor if there had been one more arrow. The owner of the arrows is standing on top of the mountain gate. The knight in red jumps down to the ground empty-handed.
とうに命はないと思ったが、存外にしぶといのだな。
The man, Archer, says so while standing in front of me as if to protect me from Castor.
お前、なんで。
何？ただの通りがかりだ。あまり気にするな。で、体はどうだ？キャスターの糸なら、今ので立ったはずだが。
After he says so, I check my hand. It moves. My frozen body has its freedom returned with just one attack by Archer.
動く。キャスターの呪縛は解けた。けど。
それは結構。あとは好きにしろ。と言いたいところだが、あれに殺されたくなければ、しばらくそこから動かぬことだ。あまり考えなしに動くと。
アーチャーですって？アサシンめ何をしていたの？
そら、見ての通り、八つ当たりを食らうことになる。女の劇場というのは、なかなかに凝しがたい。まったく、少しばかり手荒いことになりそうだ。
Archer laughs. I can't tell how serious he is.
さて、そう怒るな、キャスター。アサシンならば、セイバーと対峙している。あの侍、何者かは知らんが、セイバーを押しとどめるとは大した剣豪だ。むしろ褒めてやるべきではないか？
Even though he's facing his enemy, there's no tension in Archer. Castor must have noticed that as well, as she regains her calm.
ふざけたことを。あなたを止められないようでは英雄などとは呼べない。あの男、剣豪を名乗らせるには実力不足です。
ほう、その言いぶり。アサシンが自分の仲間だとでも言いたげだが、やはり協力し合っているのか、君たちのマスターは。そうでなくてはこの状況に説明がつかん。一つの場所に二人のサーバントが今日構えるなどとな。
Castor is staring at Archer silently. I can't see her expression hidden beneath the robe, but it seems she is bewildered.
ああ、じゃあ今の本当か？アサシンとキャスターのマスターが協力し合ってるって。
I mean, that's not an incorrect assessment.
ああ、門の外を守るアサシンと門の内に潜むキャスター。この両者が協力関係なのは明白だろう。マスター同士が協力し合うのも珍しいことではない。現にお前とリンとで手を結んでいる。
He's right now that he mentions it. Then that means there are two masters here?
何を言い出すかと思えば随分と的外れなことを言うのね、アーチャー。
I mean, it's not an incorrect statement. It's just not exactly right.
なんだ、違ったか？参ったな。君たちが仲間だというのは確信だったのだが。
ええ、見当違いも甚だしいわ。仲間ですって？私があの犬と協力し合う？私の手駒に過ぎないあの男と？
Castor does not stop laughing. Her laugh is so unsuitable that the tense atmosphere disperses. In contrast, Archer is gritting his teeth. I sense something that was not there before. It is not Castor's enmity nor the magical energy surrounding this place. For the first time since he came to this place, Archer is showing his enmity.
そう、あなたの予感は正しいですよ、アーチャー。私のマスターは誰とも手を組んでなどいないし、アサシンのマスターも同じ。いいえ、そもそもアサシンにマスターなど存在しないのですからね。
Assassin doesn't have a master? What does that mean? Every servant needs a master to exist. Weren't they supposed to disappear if they didn't have a supply of magical energy from their master?
キャスター、貴様ルールを破ったな。
まさかルールを破ってなどいませんわ。だってサーバントを呼び出すのは魔術師でしょ。ならキャスターである私がサーバントを呼び出して何の不都合があるのです。
The witch in the black robe laughs. That means Servant Assassin is a heroic spirit summoned by Castor.
サーバントを操るサーバントか。なるほど。ならばこその架空の英雄か。まっとうなマスターに呼び出されなかったアサシンは本来呼ばれるべき暗殺者以外のものをアサシンにしてしまった。それは構わん。元となる英霊が誰であろうと敵は倒すのみ。だがそれは貴様の独断ではないのか、キャスター。
聞きましょう。なぜそのような結論が出せるのです、アーチャー。
何、ただの直感だよ。マスターとは魔術師だ。その魔術師が自分より優れた魔術師を使い魔にした場合、そこにあるのはただの主従関係ではあるまい。マスターが自身より優れたキャスターを警戒するのは当然だ。私が貴様のマスターであるのなら魔女に自由など与えない。マスター本人ではなく貴様だけの手足となるサーバントの召喚など強化するはずがない。
それなりの知恵は働くようですね、アーチャー。いいわ。その賢さに免じて今の暴言は聞き流しましょう。
Castor stares at Archer as she laughs. There's only enmity between the two now. They're about 7 meters apart. With the charge that Archer showed at school, he should be able to slash Castor even before she can finish casting a spell.
納得がいった。セイバーやランサー、ライダーは強力な対魔力を持っている。ここの男の高魔力など比べ物にならない。彼らにはあらゆる魔術が効きづらい。故に魔術師である君では彼らに太刀打ちできない。となれば策略に走るのは当然だったな。ルールを破り自らの手でアサシンのサーバントを呼ぶ。この土地に今日構え町の人間から魂を収集する。自らは戦わず町中に張った目で戦況を把握する。これだけのことをするのだ。当然自分のマスターは拘束しているのだろうな。ここの間抜けなマスターのようにとっくに操り人形というわけだ。
She smiles. That sends a chill up my spine. She's not only collecting magical energy from the people in town, she's even treating her master as an object like she treated me. Castor's dangerous. She's not a pure threat like Berserker, but she is the most troublesome enemy as she worsens the situation without showing herself.
ええ、あなたは正しいわ、アーチャー。けれど私があなたたちにかなわないというのは間違いよ。聖杯戦争に勝つことなんて簡単ですもの。私が手を尽くしているのは単にその後を考えているだけ。あなたたちを恐れて策を浪しているわけではないわ。
ほう、サーバントを倒すのはたやすいと言ったな、キャスター。 逃げ回るだけが取り柄の魔女がよく言った。
言ったわ。ここなら私は誰よりも強いもの。バーサーカーやセイバーならいざ知らず、アーチャー程度ではかすり傷さえ負わせられないでしょう。それよりあなたの方こそ逃げる算段を立てなさい。一度目は許した。けれど二度目はなくてよ。私を魔女と呼んだ者には相応の罰を与えます。
Castor's robe distorts. The magical energy in the air becomes a dense fog and covers Castor's body. With it in front of him...
面白い。かすり傷さえ負わぬと言ったな。
Archer murmurs in delight.
ええ。あなたでは私に触れることさえできないでしょう。
The black shadow answers. The knight in red laughs.
では一撃だけ。それで無理なら、あとはセイバーに任せよう。
He sprints like the wind to Castor. The red shadow runs. I don't know when he got them, but in Archer's hands are those weapons, those twin swords. He does not allow time for any spell casting. Archer closes in on Castor even before she can raise her hand. And he slashes Castor in half with his swords. The robe, cut in half, scatters in the wind. Archer appears disappointed, standing in front of the enemy he slashed so easily. It must be because it was so easy. She talked so big, yet she lost without even attacking him once. Anybody would lose their spirit. Archer is still holding onto his swords. His red clothing. His black and white short swords are beautiful, and they captivate me. This is strange. Am I captivated by those swords? Yes. In fairness, they are very cool-looking swords. Those twin swords. They must be great swords with history, but I feel no malice from them. Noble phantasms are excellent weapons, so it's natural that they are beautiful. If I could see Saber's sword, I bet it would be magnificent. But they are not like that. Fighting spirit that intends to beat others, desire to be famous, competitive spirit that tries to beat another weapon, faith to accomplish some great deed, the sense of purpose found in famous swords and demonic swords is not in these. They were made because somebody wanted to make them. Unrefined twin swords made without a will, as if to question the meaning of the swordsmith. I think those are swords like that. Mirrored swords without vanity. Black and white, strange swords that represent yin and yang. I am captivated because their existence is just too beautiful. Castor's slashed body disappears. As Archer starts to put his weapons away after seeing it,
残念ね、アーチャー。あなたが本当にその程度だったなんて。
Castor's voice echoes through the empty temple. Archer jumps. This is exactly like what happened here a while ago. The light bullets appear from the sky to pierce Archer, and Archer knocks them down with his swords. No, this isn't like before. The ground is scorching red. The magical energy in that small light is about 3 times my full magical energy. Even Archer would have had his body blown away if he took a direct hit. I look up. There's no moon, and seas of clouds are drifting through the night sky. The black magus floats in the middle, as if reigning over the heavens.
空間転移か固有実勢力か。どちらにせよ、この境内ならば魔法の真似事さえ可能ということか。 見直したよキャスター。いや、大口を叩くだけはある。
Archer readies his swords while looking up at Castor.
そうですか。私は見下げ果てたわ、アーチャー。使えると思って試してみたけど、結果がこれではアサシン以下よ。
耳に痛いな。次があるのならもう少し気を利かせるが。
まさか愚か者に次などありません。あなたはここで消えなさい、アーチャー。
Archer starts off. He sprints to get away from Castor, to get out of this place.
逃げ切れると思って。
Castor moves her wand. After the wand targets Archer, something ridiculous happens before me. Nobody can hear me say no way. Castor's attack is rain without pause. The shooting lights are no different from a bombing raid. Each magic is a deadly attack, and Castor is shooting them off like rain. I may be an amateur, but even I can understand how ridiculous this magic is. That's more like great magic. To activate it, one needs a simple magic circle and a 10 count, a spell casting of more than 10 verses. Because great magic is strong, casting it takes time. A normal magus would take about a minute to cast such a big magic. Even a magus that could use high-speed casting would take 30 seconds or so. But she did it in an instant. She didn't even cast the spell, but just pointed her wand, and she's shooting them off in such rapid succession. I can't even think of someone who could compare with her. God, she's so cool.
めぎつなめ。A ランクの魔術をここまで連発するとは、よほど魔力を溜め込んだな。
He must not be able to avoid them anymore, as he runs while deflecting them with his swords. Archer tries to run out of the temple, but he changes his course midway. Archer charges at me with a scary expression. That makes me realize the place I'm standing isn't safe at all now. I'm already in the range of the shooting lights. Archer comes at me. The instant I try to avoid him by jumping back, my body is flying through the air. I try to shake him off in reflex. I can't believe it. Archer's running while carrying me. Archer must be frantic, as his words make no sense. I've been saved by him, but I just can't accept this. No, more than that, I can't stand to be a burden on him. Archer should have been able to escape by now if he were by himself. But the exit is farther now that he came to save me. He must be an easy target for Castor, as she is above us. Then, Archer suddenly kicks me off of him. My body hits the ground. He must have kicked me hard, as I fly at least 5 meters. I bear my pain and get back up. Archer has stopped. The shooting lights have stopped as well. The only thing here is the freezing air.
あいつ
I finally notice. Archer's surroundings have stopped, as if everything is frozen.
気分はどうかしら、アーチャー。いかに三騎士といえど、空間そのものを固定化されていては動けないのではなくて。
Caster sounds as if she's already won. Archer does not move at all, and maybe he can't even talk.
どうやらこれで爪のようね。外にはセーバーもいることですし、これ以上あなたにかける時間はないわ。どこの英雄だったかは知らないけど、これでお別れよ、あっちゃ。
Caster raises her left arm. Her hand shoots the bullet of light, but right before that, Archer murmurs something.
何かしら、あっちゃ。命乞いなら聞いてあげても。
と言ったのだ、キャスター。
He sounds irritated. When I try hard to catch his voice,
たわけ、かわせと言ったのだ、キャスター。
Archer jumps as he yells. He must have broken the frozen space with his powers. Archer disappears from our vision, leaving a sound like breaking glass behind him.
何よ、バカな。
Caster is perplexed by Archer's scream. And to the right and left of her, a white and a black light are aiming for Caster. Caster's robe is cut off. It must be because Caster reacted to Archer's yell, as she manages to narrowly avoid the attacks. It does not need to be said, but the things attacking her are Archer's twin swords. At that instant, Archer threw his swords right before he kicked me and fell into Caster's spell. The cast swords made an arc and attacked Caster in the sky.
さすがアーチャーってところか。ってあいつどこに。
I'm speechless for sure this time. It must be the same for Caster. The knight in red already has Caster in a checkmate. He has his knee on the ground, and he is readying a bow towards the sky. His target is Caster, and the arrow on it is the demonic sword that shot Berserker.
I am the bone of my soul.
Archer's voice shakes the air. Caster casts a spell in a rush. Seeing it,
カラドボルグ。
Archer shoots his arrow. Is that his noble phantasm? The arrow distorts space itself. Caster's moaning fills the air. The storm-like arrow has easily penetrated Caster's defense. Guessing from that distortion in space, I bet Caster would have been twisted along with space itself, even if Caster had transported herself. But Caster's still alive. Her black robe is scattered and the body underneath the robe is cut up. Caster is using all her magical energy to heal herself, but I'm sure she would have died instantly if it were a direct hit. That's right. Archer's arrow did not hit her. The arrow was shot into space far from Caster, and she had her protection destroyed by the after effect. The arrow missed. No, that's wrong. It did not miss. It missed on purpose. I don't know what his intentions are. It was a big chance, but Archer missed Caster on purpose. Silence returns to the temple. In front of me are Archer and Caster, who's glaring at Archer. It must have been a lot for him, as I only feel weak magical energy from Archer now. That goes for Caster as well. Even though it did not hit her, Archer's shot has taken away most of Caster's body and her magical energy. Even if there is a big pool of magical energy here, it's meaningless if what collects the energy, Castor, is damaged. Castor comes down without spirit. She managed to form her body, but there's nothing inside. It should be impossible for her to continue fighting. Castor watches us while breathing heavily. I don't know why, but she's looking at both the servant that brought her down and at me.
あーちゃん、今の一撃、なぜ外したのです？
She asks in a weak voice. Archer shrugs as if saying that question is a wonder itself.
いや、試すのは一撃だけと言っただろう。初めの一撃はかわされたからな。その後はただのおまけだ。なんだ、それともまさか約束を違えても当ててほしかったのか？
He says such a ridiculous thing.
では、私を殺す気はなかったと？
つい挑発に乗っただけだ。私の目的はそこの男にあったからな。他のサーバントと戦うなど予定にはなかった。
He certainly didn't have any will to fight from the beginning.
そう。どうやら私と戦いに来たというわけではなかったよね、アーチャー。ああ、そこの男が腰抜けなのと同じでね。不必要な戦いは避けるのが主義だ。剣を取るときは必勝の好機であり、必殺を誓ったときのみだ。意味のない殺生は苦手でな。
What's so funny? Castor laughs from the bottom of her heart.
そう。ならあなたたちは似た者同士ということ。
はあ？
We reply in unison. Alike. Me and Archer? Oh, honey. What makes her say that?
違うのかしら。あなたたちは無益な殺生が嫌なのでしょ？そこの坊やは私のような無関係な人間を糧にするサーバントが許せない。あなたは無意味な殺戮は好まない。ほら、全く同じじゃない。だから手を組んでいるのではなくて？
どうしてそんなふざけた結論になる？お前目が腐ってるぞ。誰がこんなやつと一緒なもんか。
同感だ。平和主義者なのは同じだが、根本が大きく異なる。厄介事は早めに片付けるのが私の方針だ。この男のようにいつまでも悩んだりはしない。
何が平和主義者だ。俺は忘れてないぞ。お前はバーサーカーと一緒にセイバーを狙ったんだ。セイバー一人に戦わせて自分は安全なところにいたくせに。
仕方なかろう。あの時はまだ共闘関係ではなかった。セイバーの安全よりバーサーカーを倒すことが優先されただけだ。それとも何か目に映るもの全てを助けろなどというのではあるまいな。ならばバーサーカーとて倒す対象にはならないか。
We glare at one another. Man, I just can't get along with him. Why does everything he says get on my nerves? Then, Castor laughs even more seeing us like this.
気に入ったわ。あなたたちは力もそのあり方も希少よ。敵に回してしまうのは惜しい。
I tilt my head in wonder. Archer looks away from me and glares at Castor.
ちょっと待て。何が言いたいんだ、お前。
わからない？私と手を組みなさいと言っているのよ。私なら今のパートナーより優れたものを用意できるわ。坊やにはセイバー以上のサーバントを。アーチャーは今のマスターより優れた魔術師と契約できる。
My mind freezes. I question her sanity for asking such a question.
悪い話ではないはずよ。 私にはこの戦いを終わらせる用意がある。言ったでしょ、勝つことなんてたやすいと。どう？生き残りたいのなら私に従うべきじゃなくて？
I don't even need to think about it. I decided to fight since I want to stop people like her who would involve innocent people. So I can never accept her offer.
断る。俺はお前みたいな魔女とは手を組まない。
I declare so. This is a natural response. I can't cooperate with this servant, and more than anything, we won't betray our partners. I'll be fighting with Saber, and Archer will not do anything to betray Tosaka. Wait. Why is he silent?
おい、あーちゃん。
拒否する。君の力を借りる理由がない。それ以前に君の陣営はいささか戦力不足だ。いかに勢力を伸ばそうとバーサーカー一人に及ばない。まだ組みするほどの条件ではないな。
I sigh with relief. I had a bad feeling, but he's not like that. I hate him, but he's still firm on his beliefs.
そう、交渉は決裂ということ。
そうだ。だがここで君と戦う気はない。この場に居合わせたのは私の独断でね。マスターの命令ではないから君を撃つ理由はない。ここは痛み分けということで手を打たないか。
I doubt my own ears. Did he just say he'd let Castor go?
意外ね。あなたのマスターは私を追っていたでしょ。なのにあなたは私を見逃すというの？
ああ、お前がここで何人殺そうが知らん。それは私には預かり知らぬことだ。
あら、ひどい男。毒は使いようということ？
私のマスターはマスター殺しに精力的でなくてね。その分お前が他のマスターを潰してくれるのなら何かと助かる。この戦いの決着はその後でも遅くはあるまい。
Castor must have accepted it as she turns around.
待て、キャサ
I run to Castor, who's about to disappear. But Archer stops me.
バカカキ様、追えば確実に死ぬぞ。
He sounds calm. It's so true that I want to vomit from anger. I stop. Castor's black robe flutters in the wind and disappears. Weapon screen updated. Ah, Kansho and Bakuya! Twin swords that Archer likes to use. Their rank as a noble phantasm is C-. They are a pair of swords with a strong bond that will return to their owner even if events cause them to be lost. Their strength as swords is high, but they also serve as ceremonial equipment. When both are equipped, magic resistance and physical resistance improve. It might just be Archer's taste, but words thought to be a charm against evil spirits are carved onto the blades. Divine skill, flawless and firm. Strength moves mountains. Blade cuts water. Life approaches the imperial villa. We embrace heaven together. Two great men shared life. Castor has disappeared. Only Archer and I remain here. His figure just gets on my nerves. Archer has saved me twice already. Castor would have taken my command spell without him, and I'm sure I would have died from that rain of light. But this is different. I can't forgive him for letting Castor go.
あーちゃん、なんでキャスターを逃がした？
戦う時ではなかったからだ。ここで切り伏せたところで、あれはスー様逃げおせただろう。今の空間転移、見逃したわけではあるまい。
That's certainly true. We wouldn't be able to get Castor if she really wanted to get away. After all, this is her territory. It's that witch. Even if she may have been weak, I'm sure she had at least 1 or 2 more tricks left up her sleeve.
理解できたらしいな。キャスターを倒すのならマスターが先なのだ。いかに空間を飛んで逃れようが、よりしろであるマスターが倒されればキャスターとて消えざるを得ないからな。
Going after the master and not the servant. That's the correct and the safest approach to the Holy Grail War.
それは分かってるけど、だからって見逃すのか。街で起きてる事件は全部あいつの仕業なんだろう。キャスターを止めない限り犠牲者は出続ける。俺はそんなの放っておくなんてできない。
なぜ？お前自身が傷つくことではあるまい。むしろ奴にはこのまま続けてもらいたいぐらいだ。キャスターは人々から正気を吸い上げ、その力でバーサーカーを倒す。私たちはその後でキャスターを倒せばいい。私とリンはキャスターは倒せるが、バーサーカーには及ばないのでな。バーサーカーを倒すまでキャスターには好きにさせておくさ。
My head heats up. I get so pissed off that I want to punch Archer.
ふざけるな。父さん、そんな方針は取らない。
そうだな。だからこそキャスターには手早くことを済ませてほしいものだ。リンがキャスターに追いつけば対決は避けられない。その前にキャスターがバーサーカーを退治してくれれば理想的だ。何人犠牲になるかは知らんが、それでバーサーカーが倒せるのならば安いものだろう。人間など結局は死ぬ生き物。誰にどう殺されようが結果的には変わるまい。キャスターも手ぬるい。いっそ魔力だけでなく命まで奪ってしまえばよいもの。街中の人間が死に絶えれば少しは戦いやすくなる。私のマスターも根は甘いからな。そうなればもはやなりふりなどに構ってはいられまい。
The knight in red states with a smile. He says it with delight, that the people here are only a bother. He's saying the same thing Castor said.
ああ、お前も知っての通り、リンは形式にこだわるタイプでね。魔術師としては申し分ないが、マスターとしては汚さに欠ける。そうだな。彼女がキャスターのようになってくれれば、私もここまで苦労はしないのだが。
お前!
I punch at Archer's face. Of course, it does not hit, as Archer avoids it without trouble.
何をする？私たちは協力関係ではなかったか？
ふざけるな！俺はお前とは違う。勝つために、結果のために周りを犠牲にするなんて、そんなこと絶対にするものか。
それは私も同じだ、エミヤシロ。だが、全ての人間を救うことはできまい。例えば、キャスターが聖杯を手に入れてしまえば、被害はこの町だけにとどまるまい。それは、イリアスフィールも他のマスターも同じだ。聖杯を私利私欲で使わぬマスターは、私が知る限り、お前とリンだけだからな。故に、私たちが勝利しなければ、被害はさらに大きくなる。ならば、この町の人間には犠牲になってもらい、私たちの役に立ってもらうしかあるまい。その結果で被害を抑えられるのなら、お前の方針と同じだろうさ。
My head is numb. He doesn't even need to tell me that. One cannot save everyone. Kiritsugu always said that. So I shouldn't feel anything even if he says so. But it just pisses me off.
無関係な人間を巻き込みたくないと言ったな。ならば認めろ。一人も殺さない。などという方法では、 結局誰も救えない。キャスターの言う通り、残念ながら私たちは似た者同士だ。犠牲者を出したくないというのなら協力し合うしかあるまい。
違う。俺はお前なんかとは組まない。お前なんて絶対に認めない。
そうか。お前が信じたものはリンだけだったな。
I turned my back to Archer. I'm different from him. If I can't ignore Castor, there's only one thing I need to do.
まさかキャスターを追うつもりか。
I ignore him and keep walking. I'm heading inside the temple. Since this is Castor's territory, her workshop has to be inside the temple somewhere.
信じられんな。お前一人ではキャスターにかなうべくもない。命が惜しいのならやめておけよ。
Archer follows me, as if he has more to say.
まったく。せっかく助けてやった命を無駄にするのか。それは構わんが。せめて感謝の一言でも残したらどうだ。先ほどの女性は私なりの行為だったのだがね。命の恩人とまではいかないが、視線を共にくぐり抜けた友人ぐらいにはありがたがってほしいものだ。
Man, he's really getting on my nerves.
うるさい。誰がお前なんかに友情を感じるもんか。いいからさっさと遠坂のところに帰れ。頼まれたってお前の手助けなんていらないんだから。
I look away and walk towards the temple again. There.
そうか。懐かれなくて何よりだ。
A chilling intent to kill comes from behind me.
何？
I jump back as I turn around. At the same time, Archer swings his sword. I'm cut at my shoulder. My blood comes flowing out, and my consciousness will fade away if I let my guard down. The pain is so sharp that it feels like my body is burning. I back up with wobbling steps. It's not to run away. I just don't have any power, so my feet move back to try to keep my body upright.
外したか。さっき抑えきれなかった私の落ち度か。とっさに反応したお前の起点か。まあ、どちらでも構わないが。
Number 1 hater in Fuyuki City! Archer walks towards me with the sword wet with my blood. I'll be killed. I feel that I'll be killed, so I move my feet in desperation. The temple's exit. I slowly retreat, trying to make my way to the mountain gate. He must know this is a fatal wound. Archer walks toward me without hurry. My mind's fading. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm heading to the mountain gate. I don't know why I was attacked. My mind is flowing out along with my blood. Maybe I'm still conscious because of the sword he's holding. The white short sword. The plain swords are captivating my eyes, and they are stopping me from closing them. But it comes to an end. The mountain gate is behind me when I realize. Even though the steps are somewhere behind me, I can't even turn around. It's because Archer will slash Emiya Shiro's body in half the moment I turn my back.
最後だ。戦う意義のないエミヤシロはここで死ね。
He raises his sword. The white yin sword is raised like a guillotine.
戦う意義だって。
そうだ。自分のためではなく誰かのために戦うなどただの偽善だ。お前が望むものは勝利ではなく平和だろう。そんなものこの世のどこにもありはしないというのにな。
I oppose Archer's words in my fading consciousness. but my body and mind are about to disappear.
さらばだ。理想を抱いて溺死しろ。
He said the thing! His voice is filled with hatred. He swings the yin sword Bakuya. He aims for the wound on my shoulder to cut my body for sure this time. But right before that, I want to oppose him so much that I jump backwards. His sword cuts through air, and my body flies through the air. The bottomless darkness is behind me. A big impact. After that, my body rolls down the stairs.
何事
I hear an unfamiliar voice.
白
And I also hear a familiar voice. My vision is almost gone. I try to lift my body up and fall onto the steps.
白しっかりおのれここまでの傷を負わせてなお階段から叩き落としたのか
Is it Saber? Saber supports my body while she talks with urgency. But that's bad. I don't know who it is, but there's another servant here. She'll get attacked without being able to defend if she's so worried about me.
黙ってまだ間に合います白の回復量ならこのまますぐに帰還すれば
She must have realized after saying that much. Saber turns back to the servant, still supporting me.
アサシなぜ私を撃たなかった
それこそ無粋刹那の花を摘むことなど誰にもできぬ
Saber tilts her head in wonder, unable to understand her enemy's intention.
何その横顔に見とれただけよ果たし合う顔も良かったが今の張り詰めようも捨てがたくてな
Is it a kimono? The traditionally dressed servant turns his back.
今宵はこれで十分立ち去るがよセイバー
私たちを見逃すというのかアサシン
そうだこの続きいずれ果たすというのなら見逃そう今のお前では満足な戦いは望めまい私とてそれは惜しい
Saber glares at Assassin, and Assassin stares calmly at Saber. The breathtaking stare down continues for less than 10 seconds.
わかりましたアサシンあなたとの決着は必ず
良い返事だ期待しているぞ騎士王よ
Saber goes down the steps with me in her arms. But I see the knight in red running down from the mountain, determined not to let me go.
アーチャー
Saber says so in wonder. He said that he will kill only when he swears to kill. Then there's no way Archer will let me go. If he used his sword to kill me, I'm sure he will kill me here no matter what. His red robe flutters like a wing. It doesn't matter if Saber's here or not. Archer jumps down and slashes his sword at me. Swords clash. The sword attacks with lightning speed. The intercepting blade parries Archer's attack and goes for his neck.
アサシン貴様
Archer twists his body and lands back down. The knight in red cannot come down the steps, being blocked off by the servant in a kimono.
邪魔をするつもりか侍
Archer readies his twin swords and faces servant Assassin. Assassin readies his sword as if nothing has happened.
それはこちらのセリフだ貴様こそ見逃すといった私の邪魔をするつもりか
He says so with delight. I don't know what he's thinking, but he must really be letting us go.
加えて私の役割はここの門番だ生きては倒産し生きては返さん雪は見逃したが帰りは別だいささか雅さにかける首だが今宵はそれで収めるとしよう
his intent to kill leaks out. Assassin's intent to kill is as sharp as his longsword. It's not overbearing like the ones Archer and Saber have, but an enmity sharpened to the extreme is going for the enemy's neck.
よく言った。セイバーに傷一つつけられなかったキャスターの手駒風情が。
貴様こそあの女狐を驚かせようと送ったというのに、我が身可愛さで逃げ帰るとは失望したぞ。
They only confront each other for a short while. They attack each other with amazing techniques. I'm fascinated by the scene. To be honest, I can't understand Assassin's technique. Even to my experienced eyes, it's way too fast and too sharp. But that's why I'm fascinated by his technique. The dancing twin swords. Archers defending Assassin's incomprehensible attacks with a technique I might be able to acquire. To be honest, you could say I admire it. He is fighting off Assassin's demonic technique with techniques only trained by his will and not his natural talent. Damn, it's natural that he's strong. Strength unlike Tosaka or Saber. All the training he went through because he's not extraordinary. He probably had nothing. That's why he took the small thing he had, trained it with all his might, and got it to that level.
今のうちにどちらにせよあなたの体を早く休ませなければ。
I come back to reality with Saber's voice. We leave the Ryudo Temple with Saber carrying. The clashing of Assassin and Archer can still be heard behind us. My wound is almost healed by the time we get back.
セイバーとつながってるからセイバーの治癒能力がついてきているんじゃない？
Tosaka's guess might be right as my wound heals faster when Saber's touching me.
それで一体何があったのですか、シロ。
Saber demands an explanation once we get to the dojo after treating my wound and getting changed. I try to tell her all the important things. How I was controlled by Castor and went to the temple, the relationship between Castor and the coma incidents happening in town, how Archer came and saved me when my command spell was about to get taken away, and how Archer tried to kill me in the end. Saber is pondering something. I'm sure she wants to first organize things in her head since so many things occurred in one night.
なるほど。では、アーチャーはキャスターを見逃したのですか？
ああ、見逃したさ。あいつは最低だ。いくら勝つためでもキャスターみたいなやつを利用するだなんて。
It pisses me off again now that I recall it. Damn, I should have punched him in his face back then. I mean, you tried. Then, Saber has a weird expression.
セイバー、なんでそこで笑うんだよ。
いいえ、シローが人の悪口を言うなんて珍しいと思いまして。まだ数日ほどしかシローを見ていませんが、あなたはそんな風に陰口を言う人ではないと分かっていましたから。
Now that she mentions it, I contemplate my immature actions for complaining.
けどしょうがないだろ。アーチャーはそれだけのことを言ったんだ。あいつは何より相棒の遠坂をバカにしたんだぞ。
そうですね。ですがシロー、一つ尋ねますが、シローはアーチャーの裏切りが許せないのですか？どうもあなたは彼に切りつけられたことを怒っているようには見えない。
Oh yeah. So the fact that Archer tried to kill me would be betrayal. But that's...
それは違う。あいつは俺を裏切ったわけじゃない。初めからあいつとは何も約束していなかった。だからアーチャーが俺を襲ってもそれはありなんだと思う。
それはそうですが、まったくシローは不思議ですね。
She says so in utter amazement, but I think there's some friendliness in her tone.
結論から言うと、私もシローと同じです。キャスターは放置できませんが、 アーチャーは非道ではないのでしょう。
ちょっと待て。人の話のどこら辺を聞いてたんだよ、セイバー。
全てです。それを踏まえた上で私も素人同意見だと言っています。加えて彼の剣技は清流でした。心によこしまなものがないのでしょう。舞うような剣撃は彼の人格を物語っていると思う。
I like it even less now. Something's wrong with Saber to praise him. First of all, Archer's technique is... No, I was crazy back then. He's like a yogurt that's about to expire compared to Saber.
何言ってんだ。あいつの剣なんて大したことない。不意打ちしたくせに俺一人殺し損ねたんだぞ。そんなんでよくサーバントを名乗れるってもんだ。
ええ。ですからシローも筋がいいのです。長く鍛えればアーチャーに届く技量になりましょう。
I can't object if Saber says so with the face like that. Anyway, it seems Saber approves of Archer's technique. I don't know why, but I don't like that fact.
セイバー、俺筋がいいって言ったな。
はい。長ずれば良い使い手となるでしょう。
決めた。なら傷が治り次第剣を教えてくれ。今までみたいな生き残るための鍛錬じゃなくて戦う方法を教えてほしい。
I hold Saber's hand and stare at her directly in her eyes.
あ、はい。シローがそういうのでしたら構いませんが。
Alright, I have no complaints if Saber can teach me. I won't make the same mistake I made tonight, and it's not like me to keep running away. And more than anything, I cannot lose to that guy who said we need more victims in order to reduce the number of victims. And that is the end of day 6. Status screen updated. What updated? Assassin? Yeah. His master is Caster. Yep. I am fairly certain the rest of this was stuff that we had before. Alright, so we are going to save and head back to the home screen and start wrapping up. So, we are not going to be streaming any Fate next week. We will be back with this on March 1st with day 7, which I believe is going to have another confrontation with Ryder and Shinji. So, look forward to that. Thank you to everybody who came by tonight, and I hope to see you next time. Tomorrow we're going to be streaming more Grand Blue Versus. So, I hope to see you all then.